ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ षष्ठोऽध्यायः आत्मसंयमयोगः, also called as ध्यान yoga. श्रीभगवानुवाच अनाश्रितः कर्मफलं कार्यं कर्म करोति यः स सन्न्यासी च योगी च न निरग्निर्न चाक्रियः. Chapter 6, first shloka. Padavibhajana, Sanskrit words separation. अनाश्रितः कर्मफलं कार्यं कर्म करोति यः सः सन्यासी च योगी च न निरग्निः न च अक्रियः. Meaning of this shloka 1 from chapter 6 is, Sri Bhagavan said, he who does his duty without expecting the fruit of actions is a sannyasi or sankhya yogi, and a yogi, karma yogi both. He is no sannyasi, renouncer, who has merely announced the sacred fire. If they just renounced sacred fire, they are not just the yogi. Even so, he is no yogi who has merely given up all activity. Shloka 2. Yam sannyasamithi prahuhu yogam tam vidhi pandava nahya sannyasta sankalpaha yogi bhavati kaschana. Padavibhajana. Yam sannyasam iti prahuhu yogam tam vidhi pandava nahi asanyasta sankalpaha yogi bhavati kaschana. The meaning of Shloka 2. Arjuna, you must know that what they call sannyasa is no other than yoga. For none becomes a yogi who has not abandoned his sankalpas or thoughts of the world. Shloka 3. Arurukshormuneryogam karma karanamuchyate yogarudhasya tasyaiva shamah karanamuchyate. आरुरुक्षोः मुनेः योगं कर्म कारणम् उच्यते योगारूढस्य तस्य एव शमः कारणम् उच्यते. So shloka 3 meaning, to the contemplative soul who desires to attain karma yoga, selfless action is said to be the means. For the same man who is established in yoga, absence of all sankalpas, thoughts of the world, is said to be the way to blessedness. Shloka 4. यदा हिनेन्द्रियार्थेषु न कर्मस्वनुषज्यते सर्वसङ्कल्पसन्न्यासी योगारूढस्तदोच्यते. यदा हि न इन्द्रियार्थेषु न कर्मसु अनुषज्यते सर्वसङ्कल्पसन्न्यासी योगारूढः तदा उच्यते. When a man ceases to have any attachment for the objects of senses and for actions and has renounced all sankalpas, thoughts of the world, he is said to have attained yoga. Shloka 5. Uddharedatmanatmanam natmanamavasadayet atmaiva hyatmano bandhuhu atmaiva ripuratmanah. Uddharet atmana atmanam na atmanam avasadayet atma eva hi atmanah bandhuhu atma eva ripuhu atmanah. Very important shloka. Ripuhu means enemy here. One should lift oneself by one's own efforts and should not degrade oneself, for one's own self is one's friend and one's own self is one's enemy. बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्तस्य येनात्मैवात्मना जितः अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवत्. बन्धुः आत्मा आत्मनः तस्य येन आत्मा एव आत्मना जितः. So many times आत्मा. अनात्मनः to shatrutve varteta atma eva shatruvat. So atma anatma both are mentioned in this shloka. So meaning of this, one's own self is the friend of the soul by whom The lower self, consisting of the mind, senses, and body, has been conquered. Even so, the very self of him who has not conquered the lower self behaves antagonistically, like an enemy. 7, Shloka 7. Jitatmanah prashantasya paramatma samahitah शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु तथा मानापमानयोः. So the Padavibhajana is almost same as the shloka. So the meaning of it, the Supreme Spirit is rooted in the knowledge of the self-controlled man, whose mind is perfectly serene in the midst of pairs of opposites, such as cold and heat, joy and sorrow, and honor and ignominy. Shloka 8. ज्ञानविज्ञानतृप्तात्मा कूटस्थो विजितेन्द्रियः युक्त इत्युच्यते योगी समलोष्टास्मकाञ्चनः. This is a very new concept when I read Bhagavad Gita the first time, where the uniformity of thought and looking at everything in a same way, right? So, the yogi whose mind is sated with jnana, knowledge of Nirguna Brahma, and vijnana, knowledge of manifest divinity, who is unmoved under any circumstances, whose senses are completely under control, and to whom earth, stone, and gold are all alike, is spoken of as a God realized soul. Shloka 9. सुहृन्मित्रार्युदासीनमध्यस्थद्वेष्य बन्धुषु साधुष्वपि च पापेषु समबुद्धिर्विशिष्यते. So the first two parts are exactly one word together. Suhrin mitraryadasina madhyastadveshya bandhushu, one word. Sadhushu api cha papeshu samabuddhihi vishishyate. Meaning of this, he who looks upon well-wishers and neutrals as well as mediators, friends and foes, relatives and inimicals, the virtuous and the sinful with equanimity stands supreme. Shloka 10. Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasi sthitah एकाकीयत चित्तात्मा निराशीर परिग्रहः. योगी युञ्जीत सततम् आत्मानं रहसि स्थितः एकाकी यतचित्तात्मा निराशीः अपरिग्रहः. Meaning of Shloka 10. Living in seclusion all by himself, the yogi who has controlled his mind and body and is free from desires and void of possessions should constantly engage his mind in meditation. 11, Shloka 11. शुचौ देशे प्रतिष्ठाप्य स्थिरमासनमात्मनः नात्युच्छ्रितं नातिनीचं चैलाजिनकुशोत्तरम्. The Padavibhajana is almost same as the shloka. Having firmly set his seat in a spot which is free from dirt and other impurities, with the sacred kusha grass, a deer skin, and a cloth spread thereon, one upon another, kusha below, deer skin in the middle, and cloth uppermost, neither very heavy nor very low. So, in this, it's also said that a naturally dead deer skin only should be used. Otherwise, use some other replacement like a thick blanket. Shloka 12. तत्रैकाग्रं मनः कृत्वा यतचित्तेन्द्रियक्रियः उपविश्यासने युञ्ज्यात् योगमात्मविशुद्धये. तत्र एकाग्रं मनः कृत्वा यतचित्तेन्द्रियक्रियः उपविश्य आसने युञ्ज्यात् योगम् आत्मविशुद्धये. And occupying that seat, concentrating the mind and controlling the functions of the mind and senses, he should practice yoga for self-purification. Okay, Shloka 13. समं कायशिरो ग्रीवं धारयन्नचलं स्थिरः सम्प्रेक्ष्य नासिकाग्रं स्वं दिशश्चानवलोकयन् समं कायशिरोग्रीवं धारयन् अचलं स्थिरः सम्प्रेक्ष्य नासिकाग्रं स्वं दिशः च anavalokayan. So shloka 13 meaning holding the trunk, head and neck straight and steady, remaining firm and fixing the gaze on the tip of his nose without looking in all other directions. Shloka 14 Prashantatma vigatabhihi brahmachari vrate sthitah manas samyamya machittah yukta asita matparah. So Shloka 14, the division is exactly the same. The meaning, firm in the vow of complete chastity and fearless, keeping himself perfectly calm and with the mind held in restraint and fixed on me, the vigilant yogi should sit absorbed in me. Shloka 15. Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi niyatamanasah shantim nirvana paramam matsamsthamadhikachati. Yunjan evam sada atmanam yogi niyatamanasah shantim nirvana paramam matsamstham adhigachati. Shloka 15 meaning, thus constantly applying his mind to me, the yogi of disciplined mind attains everlasting peace consisting of supreme bliss which abides in me. Shloka 16. नात्यश्नतस्तु योगोऽस्ति न चैकान्तमनश्नतः न चातिस्वप्नशीलस्य जाग्रतो नैव चार्जुन न अति अश्नतः तु योगः अस्ति न च एकान्तम् अनश्नतः न च अतिस्वप्नशीलस्य जाग्रतः न एव च अर्जुन. Arjuna, this yoga is neither for him who overeats nor for him who observes complete fast. It is neither for him who is given too much sleep or even for him who is ceaselessly awake. Shloka 15, Shloka 17. युक्ताहारविहारस्य युक्तचेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः. The Padavibhajana is more or less the same. Yoga, which rids one of woe, is accomplished only by him who is regulated in diet and recreation, regulated in performing actions, and regulated in sleep and wakefulness. Shloka 18. Yada viniyatam chittam atmanyevavatisthate nisprihah sarva kamebhyah yukta ityuchyate tada. Shloka 18. Pada Vibhajana, almost same as the shloka words. Meaning of this is, when the mind is thoroughly disciplined, gets riveted on God alone, then the person who is free from yearning for all the enjoyments is said to be established in yoga. Shloka 19. Yatha deepo nivatasthaha nengate sopama smrita yogino yata chittasya युञ्जतो योगमात्मनः. यथा दीपः निवातस्थः न इंगते सा उपमा स्मृता योगिनः यतचित्तस्य युञ्जतः योगम् आत्मनः. Shloka 19 meaning, as the flame does not flicker in a windless place, such is slated to be the picture of the disciplined mind of the yogi practicing meditation on God. Shloka 20. Yatro paramate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyannatmani tushyati. Almost Padavibjana is same as Shloka. The state in which the chitta, mind stuff, subdued through the practice of yoga, becomes completely tranquil, and in which realizing God through subtle reasoning purified by meditation on God, the soul rejoices only in God. Shloka 21. सुखमात्यन्तिकं यत्तत् बुद्धिग्राह्यमतीन्द्रियं वेत्ति यत्र न चैवायं स्थितश्चलति तत्त्वतः. सुखम् आत्यन्तिकं यत् तत् बुद्धिग्राह्यम् अतीन्द्रियं वेत्ति यत्र न च एव अयं स्थितः चलति तत्त्वतः. The meaning of 21. Nay, in which the soul experiences the eternal and supersensuous joy which can be intuited only through the subtle and purified intellect, and wherein established the said yogi moves not from truth on any account. Shloka 22. Yam labdhva cha param labham manyate nadhikam tatah yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. Almost same as the shloka, the meaning here is and having obtained which he does not reckon any other gain as greater than that, and established in which he is not shaken even by the heaviest of sorrows, tam vidyat dukkha samyoga viyogam yoga sanyitam sanishchayena yoktavyaha yogo nirvinna chetasa. Tam vidyat dukkha samyoga viyogam yoga sangitam saha nishchayena yoktavyaha yogaha anirvinna chetasa. So the meaning of 23, that state called yoga, which is free from the contact of sorrow in the form of transmigration, should be known. Nay, this yoga should be resolutely practiced with an unwearied mind. Shloka 24. Sankalpaprabhavan kaman tyaktva sarvana sheshatah मनसैवेन्द्रियग्रामं विनियम्य समन्ततः. संकल्पप्रभवान् कामान् त्यक्त्वा सर्वान् अशेषतः मनसा एव इन्द्रियग्रामं विनियम्य समन्ततः. The meaning of this one is completely renouncing all desires arising from sankalpas, thoughts of the world, and fully restraining all the senses from all sides by the mind. Shloka 25. Shanai shanairuparamit buddhya dhruti gruhitaya atmasamstham manah krutva na kinchidapi chintayet. Shanaihi shanaihi uparamet buddhya dhruti gruhitaya atmasamstham manah krutva na kinchit api chintayet. So 25 meaning, he should through gradual practice attain tranquility, and fixing the mind on God through reason controlled by steadfastness, he should not think of anything else. Shloka 26. Yato yato nishcharati manaschanchalamassthiram tatastato niyam yaitat atmanyeva vasham nayet. Drawing back the restless and fidgety mind from all those objects after which it runs, he should repeatedly fix it on God. Padavibjana is yataha nishcharati manaha chanchalam asthiram tataha niyamya etat atmani eva vasham nayet. So whenever mind goes everywhere, fix it back on God. That is the simplified meaning. Shloka 27. Prashantamanasam henam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaiti shantarajasam brahmabhutamakalmasham. Padavibjana is almost same. For To the yogi, whose mind is perfectly serene, who's sinless, whose passion is subdued, and who's identified with Brahma, the embodiment of truth, knowledge, and bliss, supreme happiness, comes as a matter of course. 28. युञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मानं योगी विगतकल्मषः सुखेन ब्रह्म संस्पर्शम् अत्यन्तं सुखमश्नुते. Sukham Ashnute. Other than that, all other words are almost same. So, Shloka 28 meaning. The sinless yogi, thus uniting his self constantly with God, easily enjoys the eternal bliss of oneness with Brahma. Shloka 29. Sarvabhutasthamaatmanam sarvabhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha. The Padavibhajana is almost same. The yogi who is united in identity with the all-pervading infinite consciousness, whose vision everywhere is even, beholds the self existing in all beings and all beings as assumed in the self. Shloka 30. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mayi pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami सचमेन प्रणश्यति. पदविभजन. यः मां पश्यति सर्वत्र सर्वं च मयि पश्यति तस्य अहं न प्रणश्यामि. सः च मेन प्रणश्यति. So Shloka 30 meaning. He who sees me, the universal self, present in all the beings and all beings existing within me, he is never out of my sight, nor am I ever out of his sight. Shloka 31. Sarvabhutassthitam yo mam bhajatyekatvamasthitah sarvatha vartamanopi sayogi mayi vartate. Sahayogi mai vartate. Almost everything else is same as the shloka. The yogi who is established in union with me and worships me as residing in all beings as their very self, whatever activities he performs them in me. Shloka 32. Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati Arjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham sayogi paramo matah. Atmopamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yah Arjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham sah yogi paramaha mataha. Meaning of this, Arjuna, he who looks on all as one, on the analogy of his own self, and looks upon the joy and sorrow of all equally, such yogi is deemed to be the highest of all. Arjuna Uvacha next. Shloka 33. Arjuna Uvacha. योऽयं योगस्त्वया प्रोक्तः साम्येन मधुसूदन एतस्याहं न पश्यामि चञ्चलत्वात् स्थितिं स्थिराम्. So Arjuna said, Krishna, owing to the restlessness of mind, I do not perceive the stability of this yoga in the form of equanimity, which you have just spoken of. Shloka 34. Chanchalam hi manah Krishna pramathi balavadrudham tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. Vayoho iva sudushkaram, but everything else is similar. The meaning of this one, Shloka 34. For Krishna, the mind is very unsteady, turbulent, tenacious, and powerful. Therefore, I consider it as difficult to control as the wind. Sri Bhagavan Shri Bhagavanuvacha Asamshayam Mahabaho Manodurnigraham Chalam Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairagyena cha Gruhyate. The Padavibhajana is almost same as the shloka. Sri Bhagavan said, the mind is restless, no doubt, and difficult to curb, Arjuna, but it can be brought under control by repeated practice of meditation and by exercise of dispassion, O son of Kunti. Shloka 36. असंयतात्मना योगः दुष्प्राप इति मे मतिः वश्यात्मना तु यतता शक्यो वाप्तुमुपायतः असंयतात्मना योगः दुष्प्रापः इति मे मतिः वश्यात्मना तु यतता शक्यः अवाप्तुम् उपायतः. Shloka 36 meaning yoga is difficult of achievement by one whose mind is not subdued by him. However, who has the mind under control and is ceaselessly striving, it can be easily attained through practice. Such is my conviction. Arjuna Vacha Ayati Shraddhayopetaha Yogachalita Manasaha Aprapya Yoga Samsiddhim Kam Gatim Krishna Gachati. 37. Again, it's almost same as the shloka. Arjuna said, Krishna, what becomes of an aspirant who, though endowed with faith, has not been able to subdue his passions and whose mind is therefore diverted from yoga at the time of death, and who thus fails to reach perfection in yoga, which is God realization. Shloka 38. Kachinno भयविभ्रष्टः छिन्नाभ्रमिव नश्यति अप्रतिष्ठो महाबाहो विमूढो ब्रह्मणः पथि. Vimudhaha brahmanaha pathi. Other than that, it's same. So the the meaning of this shloka 38 is Krishna swerved from the path leading to the God realization, and without anything to stand upon, is he not lost like the scattered cloud, deprived of both God realization and heavenly enjoyment? Shloka 39. Etanme samshayam Krishna chetumarhasya sheshatah tvadanya samshayasyasya chetana hyupapadyate. एतत् मे संशयं कृष्ण छेतुम् अर्हसि अशेषतः त्वदन्यः संशयस्य अस्य छेता न हि उपपद्यते. So the meaning of this, Krishna, only you are capable to remove this doubt of mine completely, for none other than you can dispel this doubt. Shri Bhagavanuvacha. पार्थनैवेह नामुत्र विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति. Shloka 40. The meaning of this, Sri Bhagavan said, Arjuna, there is no fall for him either here nor hereafter. For, O my beloved, none who strives for self-redemption, that is God realization, ever meets with evil destiny. So, Shloka 41, I'm slightly rushing this through. प्राप्य पुण्यकृतां लोकान् उषित्वा शाश्वती समाः शुचीनां श्रीमतां गेहे योगभ्रष्टोऽभिजायते. Such a person who has strayed from yoga obtains the higher worlds, heaven, etc., to which The men of meritorious deeds alone are entitled, and having resided there for innumerable years, takes birth of pious and prosperous parents. 42. अथवा योगिनामेव कुले भवति धीमताम् एतद्धि दुर्लभतरं लोके जन्म यदीदृशम्. Almost same Padavibhajana. So Shloka 42 meaning here. Athava, or if he is possessed of dispassion, then not attaining to those regions, he is reborn in the family of enlightened yogis. But such a birth in this world is very difficult to attain. Shloka 43. Tatra tam buddhi samyogam labhate paurvadehikam yatate cha tato bhuyah samsiddhau kuru nandana. Arjuna, he automatically regains in that birth the latencies of even mindedness of his previous birth, and through that he strives harder than ever for perfection in the form of God realization. Shloka 44. पूर्वाभ्यासेन तेनैव क्रियते ह्यवशोऽपि सः जिज्ञासुरपि योगस्य शब्दब्रह्माति वर्तते. So the Padavibhajana of this Purvabhyasena Tena Eva Hriyate Hi Avashaha Api Saha Jignasuhu Api Yogasya Shabda Brahma Ativartate. The other one who takes birth in a rich family, though under the sway of his senses, feels drawn towards God by force of the habit acquired in his previous birth. Nay, even the seeker of yoga in the form of even mindedness transcends the fruit of actions performed with some interested motive as laid down in the Vedas. Shloka 45. प्रयत्नाद्यतमानस्तु योगी संशुद्ध किल्बिषः अनेकजन्म संसिद्धः ततो याति परां गतिम्. The yogi, however, who diligently takes up the practice, attains perfection in this very life with the help of latencies of many births, and being thoroughly purged of sin, forthwith reaches the supreme state. Shloka 46. तपस्विभ्योऽधिको योगी ज्ञानिभ्योऽपि मतोऽधिकः कर्मिभ्यश्चाधिको योगी तस्माद् योगी भवार्जुन. The yogi who is, I'll read the Padavibhajana for this. Tapasvibhyaha adhikaha yogi jnanibhyaha api mataha adhikaha karmibhyaha cha adhikaha yogi tasmat yogi bhava arjuna. The yogi is superior to the ascetics. He is regarded superior even to those versed in sacred lore. The yogi is also superior to those who perform action with some interested motive. Therefore, Arjuna, do become a yogi. Shloka 47. Yoginamapi sarvesham madgatenantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam समे युक्ततमो मतः. योगिनाम् अपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेन अन्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यः मां सः मे युक्ततमः मतः. The meaning of this: of all yogis, again, he who devoutly worships me with his mind focused on me is considered by me to be the best yogi. That's the ending of chapter 6. ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे आत्मसंयमयोगो नाम षष्ठोऽध्यायः. It's also called as Dhyana Yoga. Thus, in the Upanishad sung by the Lord, the science of Brahma, the scripture of yoga, the dialogue between the Sri Krishna and Arjuna ends the 6th chapter entitled The Yoga of Self-Control. Date is 2/18, Sunday, Tigake, Magha Sunday. Thank you.